The morning after their first night together, Youngjun wakes up in bed alone, feeling better than ever. Miso walks in to tell him it's time to get ready for work, but Youngjun gets distracted when he notices that she's wearing one of his dress shirts and nothing else. He jokes that the shirt might get him in trouble for ignoring his responsibilities and gently pulls Miso back into bed. Miso tells him that lately, he doesn't seem like the Youngjun she used to know. When he looks confused, she explains that she actually likes this version of Youngjun much more. But she still makes him get up, and over breakfast, Youngjun tries to serve her the way she usually serves him. It makes Miso feel a bit uncomfortable, but Youngjun tells her that he's already handsome and capable, and now he plans to be kind and thoughtful too. He asks why she won't let him take care of her, and Miso admits she feels awkward because she's used to being the one who always takes care of others. Youngjun confesses that he's used to being cared for, but he wants her to try asking him for help now and then, though from the look on her face, he knows that's probably not going to happen. JW Nam arrives at work to find the office team choosing their vacation days so they won't overlap. They ask which days he wants, but he says he doesn't take vacations because going to sleep knowing his work is finished is all the break he needs. When Youngjun and Miso arrive, Sarah asks if Miso is skipping vacation again this summer. She says she doesn't need time off since she's quitting in a week. The reminder clearly unsettles Miso, and she remembers how emotional Youngjun was when she first told him she was leaving, but she tells herself, with hope, that he'll probably ask her to stay again. Youngjun invites Miso to join him at a lunch meeting being held at a friend's restaurant, and on the way, he tells her that he and the restaurant owner have been friends since childhood. He explains that the friend comes from a powerful business family but gave it all up to live a more peaceful, simpler life. Miso is surprised to find that the former business heir, Wayumi, is actually a woman, and a beautiful one, too. She eyes Wayumi suspiciously as the woman happily hugs Youngjun, but Wayumi seems truly excited to hear that Youngjun finally has a girlfriend. She comments that Miso is very pretty, and Youngjun replies that she's perfectly pretty to match his perfectly handsome face. Wayumi laughs and says he's still just as full of himself, then copies his famous aura gesture. Instead of laughing, Miso frowns and complains that Youngjun shouldn't do that kind of thing in front of other women. Wayumi joins them while they eat, and says that since Youngjun never dated, she used to worry that he might like her, even recalling that he once asked her to marry him. Miso looks furious, until Wayumi explains they were only 5 years old at the time. She's called away by a customer, and Miso shoots Youngjun her best, "You've got some explaining to do," glare. Then she puts on a fake smile and playfully says that Youngjun must have been quite bold as a child, going around proposing marriage. Youngjun reminds her that she proposed to him when she was 5. She insists that was totally different, because she was just a little girl being thankful to her hero. Youngjun grins and accuses her of being jealous. She scoffs that that's ridiculous, but when she stuffs too much food into her mouth, she won't even let him pass her a napkin. Wayumi comes back with a jar she needs help opening, and Miso's "definitely not jealous" reaction kicks in again. She looks like she's about to explode when Youngjun opens the jar, and he grows nervous when he notices Miso gripping her fork like a dagger. After lunch, Miso steps away to take a phone call. While she's gone, Wayumi tells Youngjun she can tell how much he likes Miso from the happy look on his face, and he says she also looks content doing what she loves. She explains that the idea of inheriting her family's business always stressed her out. Although turning it down wasn't easy, she's happy living a life that feels true to who she is. Her words remind Youngjun of Miso's reason for quitting, and he frowns in thought. On the drive back to work, still fuming, Miso suddenly shoves her water bottle at Youngjun and blurts out, "Would you open this for me, Oppa?" Youngjun nearly twists his neck, whipping his head between her and the road. He slams on the brakes and grabs his phone to record her calling him, "Oppa," this time. He laughs and says he enjoys her jealousy more than any masterpiece he's ever seen. At the office, Youngjun keeps teasing. He asks if Oppa can carry Miso's bag or give her a piggyback ride, clearly enjoying how flustered she gets. She snaps at him to forget she ever said it, because it's never happening again. Poor Youngjun. Meanwhile, Mom and Seogyeon go shopping and come home to find Dad snoring on the couch. They burst out laughing when they see he fell asleep reading Seogyeon's novel. Seogyeon notices Dad didn't get very far, and they giggle, wondering how he ever managed to run a company. Elsewhere, Sera and Cheol sneak off to meet in the stairwell, where Cheol tells her he got tickets for her favorite musical tonight. She calls him her hero and pinches his cute little cheeks, but when team leader Jung comes down the stairs, Sera quickly pretends to be scolding Cheol and grips his cheeks even harder. When they're alone again, Sera apologizes and says she wants to keep their relationship a secret. Cheol says his face is fine, but his heart is broken, and walks away, clearly on the verge of tears. When they return to their desks, team leader Jung notices that Youngjun no longer uses Cheol as his driver and wonders aloud if Cheol might be fired. Sera suddenly yells that Yang is important to the company, then awkwardly backtracks to avoid suspicion. She rushes off, leaving Cheol beaming with happiness. Youngjun offers to take Miso to visit her dad after work, but she says she can just take the bus. She gives him a side eye when he calls himself Oppa again, and then he refers to her sisters and dad as his in-laws. Surprised, Miso asks what he means, and he replies, "Of course. Aren't you going to marry me?" Miso asks if he can marry her, considering he's had a fiancée since he was 5. At the hospital, Miso says it's too soon to introduce Youngjun to her dad. She reaches up to gently straighten his tie, but gets caught by her father, who yells and nearly causes her to choke Youngjun by accident. Once he catches his breath, Youngjun puts on his most formal manners while Dad grumbles that Youngjun worked Miso too hard for 9 years. Still, he thanks Youngjun for the VIP hospital room, though he credits it to Miso's dedication. Despite Miso's pleading look, Youngjun tells Dad they're dating. Dad explodes in anger and strongly declares he's against the relationship, leaving Youngjun speechless. A call from Yoshik gives him an excuse to stand up, towering over Dad, and he awkwardly excuses himself. When alone, Miso asks her dad why he's against it. To her surprise, he grins and says he actually likes Youngjun. He explains he's pretending to disapprove so Youngjun will work harder to win her over. When Youngjun returns, Dad asks to speak with him privately. He wants to know how well Youngjun truly knows Miso. Youngjun replies that after working together for 9 years, he knows her very well. Dad says Miso has always been a good daughter, she never complains, never causes worry, and is the most thoughtful among his children. He explains that after an accident left him unable to work, Miso gave up college to earn money. Though he felt ashamed, Miso had smiled and said it was okay, even though she was likely hurting inside. He warns Youngjun not to blindly believe her smile, because she always smiles, even through pain. He adds that he knows about her resignation and asks how much Youngjun must have overworked her for even Miso to reach her limit. Youngjun looks ashamed as Dad says he hopes she finds what she truly wants to do, even if it took her a little while to get there. Dad leaves Youngjun in the hospital lobby to wait for Miso, where Youngjun sits deep in thought, reflecting on Miso's desire to quit so she can figure out what she truly wants in life. He's feeling uneasy after hearing Vyumi say she's happier living her own way, and remembering Dad's words that Miso should do what she wants. Dad returns to Miso with a smug grin, clearly satisfied that he scared Youngjun just enough to make sure he treats her right. Chuckling, he sends her back to Youngjun. Miso asks if her father said something upsetting, since Youngjun was so quiet during the ride home. They go for a walk, and he asks what she plans to do after she resigns. She says she doesn't know, because she's never really had time to think about her own dreams or interests. Youngjun tells her to take her time and figure it out. He admits he was being selfish by trying to hold on to her, but now he doesn't feel the need, because he plans to be with her no matter what. He tells her she's been a perfect secretary for 9 years, but now he's ready to let her go. He hugs her and says when she decides what she wants to do, she should tell him, and he'll support her, whatever it is. Miso agrees, but when he pulls her in for another hug, her expression looks uncertain. The next morning, team leader Jung is flustered over yet another office dating rumor. The others tell GWI Nam that Jung always does this, and none of the rumors turn out to be true. But this time, Jung says there's a real witness, and the couple is Youngjun and Miso. Everyone panics, afraid of crossing Miso now, and vows to work harder. In his office, Youngjun gives Miso a thoughtful look and says he's just appreciating the last few days they'll work together. As she's leaving, he suddenly hugs her from behind, and she looks up to see team leader Jung, Sarah, and Jia staring at them. Startled, she jumps up and closes the blinds. But Youngjun says they've been caught, so they might as well be honest. He invites them into the office and tells them the truth, he and Miso are in love. He asks if anyone has a problem with it, but everyone awkwardly says they're totally fine. Miso asks them to keep it secret, but Sarah reveals the whole company is already gossiping after seeing them out on a date. Miso begins to notice the stares and whispers and grows uncomfortable. Later, Sarah overhears two coworkers gossiping cruelly in the restroom, saying Miso probably got hired for her looks because she doesn't have a college degree. Sarah storms in, shouting that Miso isn't like that. Jia backs her up, snapping that Miso is basically perfect, right after Youngjun, of course. The women sneer that they can say whatever they want about Miso, accusing Sarah and Jia of nosing around. That sparks a wild mob fight and Miso has to step in and break them apart. She apologizes to Sarah and Jia and asks why they took the comments so personally. Sarah says Miso works harder than anyone, and Jia adds that it's unfair people assume Miso is quitting just to get married. Sarah suggests they tell Youngjun and have those women transferred to some far-off branch. But Miso says she doesn't want to worry him and asks them to keep it quiet. Unfortunately, it's already too late. Youngjun has heard everything through Yoshik. Yoshik explains that someone accused Miso of seducing Youngjun just to get her job, which makes Youngjun furious. He jumps up to go find her, but Yoshik stops him, saying Miso didn't want him to know and asks him to pretend for her sake. So when Youngjun sees Miso, he calmly says he's decided they should go to Daegu to inspect the new department store, even though he'd previously said there was no need. Sarah and Jia limp back into the office and face a storm of questions about their fight. Sarah huffs that they couldn't let Miso be insulted like that. GWI Nam keeps glancing at Jia with concern, while Sarah dramatically shows off a tiny scratch on her arm. Cheol looks like he's ready to go beat someone up, but Sarah quietly tells him she's fine. Later, he texts her to open her desk drawer. Inside, she finds paint patches he secretly left for her. At the department store, Youngjun is satisfied everything is ready for opening. After the meeting, he asks Miso out on a date. He acts goofy while snapping pictures of her, making her laugh. They walk to an observatory overlooking the city. Youngjun says the view is flawless, just like her, and that he's like the observatory, standing tall on a mountain. Miso says she knows he brought her to Daegu to cheer her up, and he admits he knows what happened back at the office. He suggests she go ahead and quit a few days early, but Miso says she wants to work until the end despite the gossip. Youngjun worries she'll get hurt, but she says she knew what might come from dating him, and decided to love him anyway. Touched, Youngjun hugs her tightly, and then Miso says it's time for a hot date. Youngjun gulps, getting the wrong idea, but Miso leads him to a street market for spicy food. He's suspicious of the strange snacks at first, but tries them, loves the taste, and starts devouring everything. The next day, Miso braces herself for work. When she arrives, she finds the team panicking. Another company has copied their laptop design and launched advertising first. Youngjun calls an emergency board meeting. Yoshik explains the rival company probably released the stolen design first to avoid plagiarism claims. Youngjun asks if they can change their design, but Yoshik says that doing so would delay the entire product lineup for the year. A board member suggests lowering their laptop price, but Youngjun strongly disagrees. Instead, he decides to borrow advanced features from next year's model, reasoning that if this model fails, there won't even be a next year. He leaves, and the board members turn to Miso, pleading with her to tell Youngjun that they were just flustered and didn't have time to think of any countermeasures. She tells them he probably knows that already, and warns that he'll soon ask what they plan to tell the press. She hints at the kind of answers that will satisfy him. Yoshik jokes that she reminds him of his mom whenever his dad scolded him. Miso shifts into damage control mode, assigning tasks to each department and guiding the office team. Later, she reports to Youngjun that everything he requested is already in motion, the patents have been changed, the budget adjusted, and press releases prepared. He's amazed by how fast and capable she is, and says admiringly that he doesn't know if he'll ever find another secretary like her. The better she performs, the harder it is to let her go. He sincerely thanks her for all the hard work over the years. After a long day, the team orders pizza for dinner. Miso thanks everyone for their teamwork under pressure, and Sera says that anyone who doubted Miso because of her relationship with Youngjun should see how strong and capable she really is. Team leader Jung sighs that they'll be lost without her. Youngjun drives Miso home, and before getting out, she says she has something to tell him. She's decided not to quit her job. Youngjun looks confused and asks if it's because of what happened today. He tells her not to stay for his sake, that both he and the company will adjust. She replies with a smile, "I've already found what I want to do. I think staying as your secretary is what I'm meant to do. Maybe I'm already doing the job I'm best at, the one that suits me perfectly." Youngjun looks like he can hardly believe what he's hearing. Miso adds that she didn't realize this job was her calling because she'd gotten so used to it. But she truly enjoys solving problems and the satisfaction of finishing her work. She says she doesn't want the man she loves to be overwhelmed, and when Youngjun ducks his head, touched, she jokes that no one else could handle him anyway. She finishes, "You tried to let me go because you love me. But because I love you, I want to stay by your side." Youngjun is speechless, looking like the most grateful man alive. He takes a deep breath and asks, "Can I stay for Ramyun?" They go inside, and she finds one package they can share. Miso sighs that she's incredibly happy right now. She says she's always dreamed of cooking with her husband after work, then suddenly realizes what she just said. She tries to get up, flustered, but Youngjun won't let her run away this time. He takes her hand and gently says, "I want to make that dream come true. I want to be your husband. I want to marry you, Kim Miso." Faced with a proposal made out of true love, Miso is stunned, but her answer is written all over her face. Youngjun leans in to kiss her, until a loud voice shouts, "Objection," and they leap apart. Miso's dad jumps out from her bed, yelling, "I object to this marriage."